Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly. Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly. Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wednesday. That means it's wing night. Ohio Valley Sports Online, live streaming from the Harp and Habit here on University Boulevard, Franciscan Square in Steubenville, Ohio. Hello, everybody. This is Ray Saccoccia along with Jimmy DiCarlo. In our first segment, Coach Reno Saccoccia, Steubenville High School, brought to you by Fort Steuben Maintenance. It's wing night here. We just got underway. Stop on down. Coach, you get one playoff win. One of your short-range goals was get 2 home games. You got that. Special night. Seniors, last game in Harding Stadium. Let's recap the first week's game. Big win for you.
Yeah, you know, winning in football is hard. I don't care who you're playing, and our kids just they were prepared. They were well prepared by their coaches, but it's one thing to be prepared, another thing to bring it on the field. And they brought it on the field Friday. Everybody that played was prepared, and we played a great game against a very good football team.
Well, I think you played well. I mean, one thing I wanted to mention, though, Coach, I don't know your personal opinion on it, but in expanding the playoffs, a lot of lopsided games in the first round. I mean, I know the state says that they do it, because they want more kids involved. We all have our own opinion on that. But how do you feel about that first round game? We argued for years to get 8 teams in, and they thought it was too many. But when you're making the millions of dollars they're making, 16 is good to the state. Well, very good.
And I think it is good. It does get more players in and more kids in to play. But at the same time, it didn't change anything. It didn't help that, everybody thought it would help scheduling. The teams would play each other because,
right.
You can get in. But now the goal is to finish in the top 4 and play at home. And it's very simple. The reason why that goal was, I told you last week, had we not finished in the top 4, we would have driven to Buckeye Valley, which was a 3-hour and 20-minute drive. And had we won, we would be driving to Athens this week, which is a 3-hour drive. So we'd be driving 6 hours the first 2 rounds and not getting reimbursed. That's expensive. Buses are $1,500, $1,800 to go that distance, and we use 2 buses. There's $3,600. We haven't eaten yet. So I mean, it's an expense, but if the goal is to get more kids in, they have gotten more kids in. But I'm sure if you looked, I mean, did any 16 or 15s beat 1 or 2s? I don't know. I can't answer that. But a lot of 13s and 12s and 11s are on the playoffs.
Well, you talked the business side of it, and the other, on the human side of it, you can address the point of another week of football, extending the season for these high school kids.
Yeah, I mean, I like the playoffs, period. And you go by whatever rules they have, but the playoffs is an altogether different animal. And, in the regular season, you lose, you can bounce back the next week. And right now you lose and you're out. And anybody can beat anybody one time. I mean, I don't care who it is. Anybody can beat anybody one time. So you better be prepared to play every time, every game in the playoffs.
Jimmy?
You might have a good thing about that, Coach. You might have a 16, 15, or 14 not win, but they get an extra week of practice. They get a playoff game. They might have a less experienced crew. But anyhow, you guys took care of business. I wasn't at that game. I was at another one, but up 21-0 after 1, 35-0 at half, and you won 47-7. You had 7 ball carriers, which is nice to get a lot of depth in there. You ran the ball for 178 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground. I believe Bryant had 2, Minifield 2, Davis 1, and a passing touchdown. Davis very efficient throwing, 12 of 15 for 147 yards. And you gave up a few yards in the air. We talked about it before we came on the air. But, man, you shut them down. 22 carries, 38 yards on the ground. I think that was the key probably to the game. You also had a pick 6 by Crozier. So we've been giving kudos the last few weeks to your defense. Kudos to your rush defense last week.
Our defense has played lights out. And, to get off the state putting in a 30-point rule hurts football more than 16 playing 1 in the playoffs. And the reason why I say that is there's only a few coaches in the state of Ohio that run the score up. The rest of the coaches are professional about it. But if it wasn't a 30-point clock in our game, we would have had every kid on our sideline playing multiple minutes instead of the running clock took the 24 minutes on the running clock took 29 minutes to play. And had they not had that clock, we would have had a great second half for both teams. Buckeye Valley would have had kids in the game or kept their starters in the game to play longer, and we would have had kids in the game. So the 30-point rule sits worse with me than 16 teams making the playoffs. Only because if you want kids to play, then you're going to have more kids in the playoffs, more teams in the playoffs. But now you're saying we're going to cut. If it's 30 points, we're cutting the game.
Right.
So let's be for the kids. Let's have the 16-team playoffs, but let's play 48 minutes of football. And the coaches that abuse it, they'll get theirs in the long run.
That's a good point.
But to answer your question, when you go into a football game, talk about yards rushing and yards passing, you got to take away what the team does best or take away one or the other. I don't care. When you're in the playoffs, you're not going to shut a team out. You're not going to shut their run down and their pass down because they're good or they wouldn't be in the playoffs. So as a defense, you have to be solid at one. And, our philosophy last week was stop the run and tackle the pass. okay? We're not going to stop both, but we're going to stop the run. And when they complete that pass, we're going to tackle. We're not going to give them big plays. We're not going to give them yards after the catch. So, and it's harder to complete a pass than it is to hand the ball off. So our philosophy was stop the run, tackle the pass, and I thought that our kids did a very good job with that. And then you going back to Davis being what was it?
12 of 15.
12 of 15. You know, I got 4 words to say for him. In my opinion, this is the 4 words I have to say for him if he would ask me about how he played. Passing percentage, completion percentage, and win. Those are the 4 words that I would say to him. His passing percentage, and he wins. Those are the 2 most important things for a quarterback, in my opinion.
He spreads the ball around really nice. He gets a lot of guys involved.
Well, you know, when you're passing the ball, like our rule is, and Coach Colabella emphasized this, when you have 4 guys out on the pass route, you have your first read, your second read, your third read, your fourth read. Don't pass up 1 to get to 2. Don't pass up 2 to get to 3. Don't pass up 3 to get to 4. Read your progression, and that's the guy you throw it to. And he does a very good job at that. And it has everybody hustling their route because you might get the ball.
Right.
If one's covered, he's looking for 2. If 2's covered, he's looking for 3. And you know, something we've hit 4 a few times. So I mean, that's just a good progression. And Coach Colabella and Davis and Haney do a great job. And they meet on Sunday for a couple hours and they go over things. I mean, they put the time in, and that's why he's throwing for 75%. We've never had a quarterback throw for 75% before.
Now let's move on to Athens.
Go ahead, Jimmy. Yep.
Okay. Now, a couple things on Athens. I'll let you come in there, Ray. They're ranked 50th in Division III. They're 10-1. They were 9-0. Lost their last game. I didn't know. You told me on the last play of the game.
50th.
To Nelsonville, York. Ranked 50th in Division III. Yep.
I mean, I didn't even know we had a ranking that deep.
We got rankings all over the place. You know, you're just so used to being in the top 5. You don't worry about those bottom dwellers, huh?
No, that's not true.
Anyhow, they're 10-1, and they beat Lyndon McKinley last week, 21-8. I see that they used 2 quarterbacks. You can explicate on that a little bit. Also, their leading rusher Piro has thrown 114 yards per game, and you know, they're coming to Harding Stadium. They got a long bus trip on Friday night. So
number 11 is a good running back. He's really a good running back. But to talk about the quarterbacks, in games 3, 4, and 5, or 2, 3, and 4, I'm not sure. In the first part of the season, they had a right-handed quarterback. But the last 5 or 6 games, the quarterback's been a left-hander. And I don't know what happened to the right-hander, but the left-hander's in right now. And I feel that the kid right now runs the ball a lot quicker, and the one before ran the ball looking to throw it. So there's a difference. There's a difference there. The kid they have down now is a very good runner, and quarterbacks running the ball have given us a problem. So you know, like I said, I don't know which quarterback's going to play, but I know right now we are practicing for the left hand. We're in 7-on-7, and when we go to team, we just go against the right hand, left hand.
Ray?
Well, Coach, with all that said, you know, as long as they don't have Joe Burrow, I feel pretty good about it. You know,
I wish they had Joe Burrow again. I'd like to have a second chance at him.
Not me.
No, he was good. But I do
one more red shirt.
But I do wish the coach that had that team was the coach now. So
I hear you.
But Joe Burrow's made history, and part of the history. If you read a couple of things that he said, he really had a lot of nice things to say about coming to Steubenville, and he's good.
That's that. Coach, one thing I wanted to ask you about before we finish here, and being in Harding Stadium, playing on Reno Field, it's the last game for the seniors. You know, let's talk about this group as this senior group.
Well,
what can you tell us about them?
I was telling Jimmy before the game, we talked, and you know, a lot of times you have very good players, and sometimes they don't reach their full potential. But the seniors this year, and the juniors, but the seniors, it's their team, and they're the leaders. We have a very good football team that plays very good. And the further we go in the playoffs, we'll see how good we are. But this senior class has had less problems than the last 3 or 4 senior classes we've had, and that goes a long way. I mean, when you're not wasting time or spending time or using time up for this or that, or this guy pouting or that guy pouting or this guy not going. When you're not wasting time with that, you're spending time preparing players both mentally and physically to compete. And once you learn how to compete, it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're competing in the classroom, competing on the field, competing for a job. Once you learn to compete and you get that drive in you that you're not going to be beaten, that goes a long way. And I think that's what these seniors have done the best. They've learned to compete, and they enjoy competing. We got a 2-hour and 2-minute practice done today in an hour and 36 minutes. Why? Because we didn't have to rewind anything. I think we round 2 offensive plays, and we rewound 3 plays in 7-on-7, and the rest of the time we were on to what we were doing. And I put my watch up to one of the players. I said, "What time is it?" He said 4:32, and we started at 3:00. I mean, that's wonderful.
Well, that tells me, you guys are where you need to be. Everybody's locked in, ready to go.
Yeah, but it's got to happen again tomorrow. It can't be a Tuesday, Wednesday thing, and then not Thursday, and then not Friday. Or it can't be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and not Friday. And we've been so lucky the last 4 or 5 weeks that we've been able to bring that preparation onto the field on Friday. And we have kids cheering for each other now, at the same position, where in the beginning of the year you might have had, well, how come I ain't getting the ball? How come you're not throwing me the ball? And most of that comes from the parents anyways. But it's just been a great senior class that I'm really I'm proud to be a part of. I mean, no matter how small a part I am, I'm glad to be a small part of this senior class.
Well, they're good players.
On Friday nights, why would the Ohio High School want every game on Friday night? Actually, Catholic Central was the only game in the state of Ohio on Saturday because they share the field with you guys. Why did OHSAA move that to everybody plays Friday evening? Do you know?
I don't know. I like it, though.
Coach,
if I was a fan, I wouldn't, because I'd want to go see Bigger play on Friday and Central play on Saturday. But
it's been that way for 3-4 years now. Because I remember
just the first few rounds. This is only the second year that it's been every Friday, but the state finals. Okay. Before that, it was like the first 2 rounds were on Friday, and then 1, 2, and 3 played this, and 4, 5, you know what I mean? It was split up like that. Every year was the opposite way. But as coaches and as players, I think that Friday night's beautiful for everybody. But if I was a commissioner, maybe I wouldn't do that. But if I was a commissioner also, I'd be glad everybody's playing on Friday because I'm getting Saturday off, But as a coach, I like Friday because we play on Fridays, and it gives you, we haven't changed our work week.
Your routine, your routine.
We haven't changed our work week a bit. And I don't want to say routine because routine turns into rut. But our work week, you try not to have it the same way all the time. Like one day you went inside run first, then outside run, then RPOs, then goal line, then coming out. Things like that, and then the next day you're trying to do a little bit different, maybe coming outs first, and then you're passing. But we just want to. Our work week is what we want to do, but we really don't want it to be a routine because then it gets. And,
you don't have an extra day in there. That's all. Now, will it stay that way throughout the regionals, correct?
It stays that way the whole way till the finals.
Until the final game.
The final games, then you got a game on Thursday, then Friday and Saturday.
And they've had games on Sundays before too, haven't they?
Yeah, but I don't think the last 2 years. I don't think they're doing that anymore. It's Thursday night, then Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
One final thought, Coach, at the other end of the spectrum, from the seniors last game, one thing that I know you've done consistently throughout your 42-year career is playoffs come, you bring up the freshmen. You let the freshmen stay on and get extra practices.
Yeah, the ones that want to stay out stayed out.
Yeah.
I think we had 14 stay out, but then they go by our rules. If they're late for school, they're done. You know what I mean? So we've lost a couple because of tardies, but we have some really, really good freshmen out now that are going to help the team next year.
All right, you got it. This is the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show. Coach Reno Saccoccia, sponsored by Fort Steuben Maintenance. Coach, wish you the best of luck this week.
Well, I'm sorry to say, I hope I'm here next week.
You'll get a bowl. You'll get a bowl.
You'll be back.
Bowl of soup. It's wing night here at the Harp and the Habit.
I get a bowl of soup, and you guys get $85 each, and I get a bowl of soup.
Oh, I wish that. I could join the union.
And I get the cold wings.
You come back and get the ice cream, win or lose, Coach, okay?
Yeah, that ice cream's great. Thanks a lot, you guys. I appreciate it.
Best of luck.
Coach Reno Saccoccia, Ohio Valley Sports Online. We'll be right back with our sponsor segment right after these messages. Thank you.
You know, Fort Steuben Maintenance should be your first choice when it comes to any and all construction projects, whether it's commercial or residential. Make Fort Steuben Maintenance your first call. You can rely on them to be the experts when it comes to roofing, concrete, plumbing, carpentry, just about any job that needs done. Fort Steuben Maintenance, they're fully licensed and bonded and will even give you a free estimate. Fort Steuben Maintenance. You want the number? 740-283-4890.
You're listening to Ohio Valley Sports Online, the sports authority. If you want to get your message heard, visit us on Facebook and leave a message. Ohio Valley Sports Online is on any connected device, phones, tablets, smart TVs. Follow us on Facebook and don't forget to subscribe free to our YouTube page. Type in OVSO. You will get immediately notified the instant we go live with our next broadcast.
You know, Fort Steuben Maintenance should be your first choice when it comes to any and all construction projects, whether it's commercial or residential. Make Fort Steuben Maintenance your first call. You can rely on them to be the experts when it comes to roofing, concrete, plumbing, carpentry, just about any job that needs done. Fort Steuben Maintenance, they're fully licensed and bonded and will even give you a free estimate. Fort Steuben Maintenance. You want the number? 740-283-4890.
Now we're back. I'm here with Casey Johnson, State Farm agent and manager. I don't know what the best wording is out there in Wintersville. First of all, thank you, Casey, for coming. Thank you for being Ohio Valley Sports Online sponsor and helping our student athletes. Very, very much appreciated. I do want to let you guys know before I start talking to Casey and asking her some questions that she used to be the manager at PNC, which is my bank. She was I can't describe you with so many adjectives: efficient, caring, conscientious, knowledgable, and you always did what was best for the customers, not to make a buck. Okay, so I was really impressed with that. And then when I found out that you were working with State Farm and running the show out there in Wintersville, I decided to change my agencies, and you saved me a lot of money throughout the years with the prices that I've saved there. So first of all, besides life, car, and home insurance, tell us a little bit about that and what other services that you offer.
Yeah, so we do auto and home, like you said. We also do renters. We have life insurance, and then we can help people with Medicare supplements. And then we recently added some financial planning, so we can do that now too.
Okay, that's great. And how about you have a lot of workers out there?
Yeah.
Tell us about your employees, how many you have, who's under your wing, etc.
So there are 7 of us. Very fortunate that they've been with me for quite some time. All fully licensed. Everybody can do the same thing that I can do, which is great. And everybody's local, which is fantastic. So everybody lives in the community. Everybody participates in different community events, which is cool. We love it when we go just to get groceries and we see our customers and get to just chit chat for a few minutes. So that's been great. But yeah, there's 7 of us.
That's good. You're out there in Wintersville on Reichert Avenue. Was that the old Dippity Dog place, wasn't it? Okay, so people don't know where that's at. So tell us, first of all, and we'll come back to other questions, how they can get a hold of you, the phone number, and your hours of operation.
Yeah, so you can call. It's 740-264-0561, and we are there Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We do evenings and weekends by appointments. Occasionally, we'll do some community events. If anybody needs anything, we're always available at those. And then you can reach us by text message 24/7.
That's great. Let me just turn it over to you. Things that you would like to say out there, some of the needs of the people that have, and some of the concerns that you see of the people that you service.
So we like to take time with our customers and just kind of have a conversation, mostly learn about their situation and make sure their coverage is correct, and just take the time to explain what it is they're paying for, just to take all the stress out of a situation if they have a claim. So that way, if you call, we can say everything's fine, you're covered. But we also just like to kind of, keep in touch. So we do annual check-ins. We call everybody once a year just to see if anything's changed. People might update something and forget to let us know. That kind of stuff. We like to send birthday cards. They're like our favorite. So we do a lot of those. And then we like to do a lot of community events. So we just recently did the trunk or treat, which was a really good time. We've been doing an annual car seat day. So we provide free car seats to anybody in need, or just if their car seat's expired. So we've been doing a lot of those kind of things. Next year, we're really looking forward to doing some of the Wednesdays in Wintersville, or maybe the first Fridays. And we're really going to hit a lot of car shows next year, I think, because it's just a lot of fun to hang out with everybody and kind of see what they brought, and also just kind of get to talk to some of our customers and hang out.
How many years have you been in the finance business between the bank and State Farm agencies?
You're really dating me. 20 years.
20
yeah.
now, huh?
Yep.
And you were at PNC for about half of that time?
12, yeah.
12,
and then
okay.
I've been with State Farm for 8. Yep.
And what is your exact title, since it's called State Farm, Casey Johnson, State Farm? Okay.
Yeah, so all the agencies are independently owned.
Okay.
So I would be the agency owner at that location.
Okay. And you're not open on weekends then, or is it on appointment only?
We do appointment only on weekends. Yeah, we find that a lot of our customers don't really want to spend their weekends talking about insurance. It's not the most exciting thing, but if that's all somebody has available, we are always there to, meet with them, or we even do appointments over the phone. And then we have a virtual option where we can do that way too.
So if somebody has an accident and they need to get serviced, do you have people that go out? Do you guys go out on your own, or are there special agents that see the scenes?
Yeah, so State Farm has their claim reps, so they'll send them out, and they're available 24/7 as well. So they will send somebody out if need be. If there's a, heaven forbid, like a large fire or something like that, I always go out personally, usually deliver a check. I usually bring a notebook just because you don't have anything. That way you can start writing things down as you think about it. Make sure they have everybody's contact information, and make sure that the person has a cell phone. That way they can be reached.
Well, again, we appreciate you coming here tonight. We also appreciate your sponsorship. We hope that all our sponsors feel that they're getting their money's worth and are also helping the student athletes. We'll tell you, just as an example, for the Catholic Central game last week, we reached, between Facebook and our YouTube page, 7,000 people. Okay, so we do get a good audience. We do boys and girls basketball, 2 football games normally on a Friday, girls volleyball, and softball and baseball. Raymond's done golf with Dan. We may be doing track this year. We've even done a soccer game in the past. So we get around, and all of our sponsors have logos and get live commercials. I hope you've heard your name and watched some of the contests along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you guys, and we're happy to support all the local kids any way we can. So this is a great opportunity for us, and we appreciate it.
Okay. Any other last things?
Nope.
One more time then. How about, the address and the hours and how they can get a hold of you guys directly?
Yep, so we're at 41 Reichert Avenue, which is the old Dippity Dog, like you said. You can call us at 740-264-0561, and our website's caseyjohnsonsf.com.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Casey.
Thank you.
Hopefully you don't have many claims that you have to service, but I'm going to tell you, Casey is very honest and very caring, and and she's going to take care of you and give you a very good price on anything that you want. So please give her a call and patronize our sponsors like Casey. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And we'll be back after this State Farm commercial.
Thank you, guys.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say,
"What? Huh?"
I'm so over this.
but what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Get someone who actually can help. Contact State Farm agent Casey Johnson today.
The meaning of cleaning, there's one name you gotta know. Apollo Pro Cleaning, clean floor to ceiling. Apollo Pro Cleaning is the meaning of cleaning.
When you need electrical work, get it done right by the most qualified electrical contractors and tradesmen around. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. IBEW 246, trained to electrify.
Now we're back here. Thanks again to Casey Johnson. If you need to get a hold of her, the number is 740-264-0561. Now I have some time. I'm going to talk about the OHSAA playoff picture sponsored by SVRTA. In Region 11, that's Reno Saccoccia and Big Red's region, Jackson at 9-2. The 8 seed is at Bishop Watterson 11-0. They are the 1 seed. The winner of that game will play Bloom Carroll 9-2 at Licking Valley, who's 10-1. Licking Valley defeated Indian Creek last week. On the other side of town, Dover 8-3, the number 11 seed, is at Tri-Valley, the number 3 seed. And, of course, Athens, the number 7 seed at 10-1, is playing Steubenville Big Red. Those two winners will match up the following Friday at a neutral site. A couple other Division III matchups that you guys might be interested in. In Region 12, Archbishop McNicholas is at Bellbrook 10-1. McNicholas is 9-2. I believe their quarterback got hurt. They hadn't lost until that happened since the Steubenville game. It was a hard-fought game with Steubenville, so McNicholas still alive in Region 12, Division 3. Also in Division 3, Region 13, Cleveland Glenville at 8-3. The number 5 seed is at undefeated West Branch. And Field, the number 9 seed at 9-2, is at a very good Mentor Lake Catholic. And all these games are on Friday except for the Steubenville Central game. In Division 4, a game we should have on the radio on Friday on audio only, Bishop Reedy at 7-4. The number 6 team is at St. Clairsville, the number 1 seed, who's 11-0. The winner of that game will play West Holmes, winner versus East Liverpool. West Holmes coming in at 6-5, and they're jaunting to East Liverpool, who's 7-4. In Division 5, Girard, who knocked off Edison last week in Region 17, is at South Range, number 1 seed. And Garraway, a team that the OVAC is pretty familiar with, the number 5 seed, is at Garfield. Martins Ferry is in that same Region 17. Ferry with a win last week over Crestview at 10-1 will be playing at Poland 9-2. And Berkshire will play New Manchester from Akron. The winner of those contests will meet up the following Friday. Also in Division 5, Wheelersburg, who pulled the upset at Barnesville last week, will be playing Union Local, the 11 seed, and hosting a game at 9-2. The winner of that game will play West Muskingum Fairland winner the following Friday. In Division 6, Region 21, Toronto, one of our local teams, at 8-3, the number 7 seed, will be at number 2 Springfield New Middletown, and the winner of that game will play the winner of Dalton, the 6th seed, against Pyment-Tuning Valley, who's 10-1, the number 3 seed. Also in Division 6 in Region 23, though, Waterford, the 5 seed, is at OVAC Fort Fry. Waterford coming in at 9-2, Fort Fry at 8-3. Colonel Crawford, the number 9 seed at 9-2, is at Grandview Heights 10-0. And in Division 7, the only game in town again, we presume this Saturday, Steubenville Central, a heart-stopping winner over River last week, will be hosting Miller. Miller coming in at 9-2, the 5 seed against Steubenville Catholic. Eric Meek's team at 8-3, and the winner of that game will be playing the 5 in Danville, the number 1 seed, who's in at 9-2. The number 6 seed Trimble will be playing at Conotton Valley, the number 3 seed, one of Central's former opponents during the regular season, and the winner of that game, South Gallia, will be playing Eastern Beaver, who's 11-0, the number 2 seed. South Gallia coming in at 7-3. So the Crusaders will be home Saturday versus Miller. We'll have that game for you on our streaming station. We'll also have the Big Red game Friday night and the St. Clairsville game on audio only on Friday. And if Steubenville Central can pull out that win, and we sure hope they will, they will be playing the winner of Notre Dame and Danville the following Friday. So that's your plate, and be back with Coach Meek right after these timeouts.
Ohio Valley Sports Online would like to thank one of our great sponsors, Capital Recovery Systems. Capital Recovery Systems is home of the no-cost court collections program. Capital Recovery Systems is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Okay, we're back here at the Harp and the Habit. It's wing night. Place is filled. You can see there on the camera that Danny's giving you that view of the restaurant. I want to thank Chris McCarthy here, the owner and operator of the Harp and the Habit, for having us down here and hosting us. And I'm going to get these wings and get these boxed up. All right, nobody's going to eat these, right?
Tony's not here today.
No,
You're
Tony's
good.
not
You're
here,
good,
so I'm
man.
in good shape. There's 6 Wing National Colloid Company. Coach Eric Meek, big win, Coach. Congratulations on the victory, overtime win. Your kids, they played well. They put it together.
Yeah, they really did. I just told I had Matthew Sprocki and Tommy Purge and Jimmy Hernan on the practice field. I was talking to those 3 during a session tonight, and it just really seems like as the game goes on, because of the type of team we are, physical on each side, that we get better as the game goes on. And I think it's almost like you start to wear some teams down.
Well, Coach, on that point right there, one thing about last year's team and this year's team, you guys have dominated the line of scrimmage in the games that I saw on both ends of the ball, and in particular, your 2 ends that you have, Roush and Bradley defensively. I mean, teams are struggling getting outside of you, and then you're playing tough up the middle with Kostecki and who else is in there?
Well, this past week we had Justin Rowe in there, Peter Liebhaber.
Right.
We've had Rusty Masaccio at times, Nick Massio occasionally. But
Nick
plays more offense as our center. But, the thing about it is give Coach Flannery credit and his kids. They came ready to play. They had 41 offensive plays in the first half. We had 12. So they probably had and they ran the ball. So
they ran the ball.
Yeah, about 3, 4, they would get that. So they had probably the ball 20 out of 24 minutes. But the score was only 6-0. Give our defense credit on that end. And then we said, guys, if we could just start stopping them a little bit and move the ball, it's 6-0, and that's what happened. And then even when we were down 14-0, the kids did not quit. Also very proud of the effort. the poise of our kids. When we went down, this has happened several times right before a half or the end of the game in a close game. We've used our poise and our clock, and we've went right down the field and executed and scored. It's happened several times this year. So we've had a lot of close football games. We've won all the close games.
Yep.
So, that says something about the perseverance and the will of our kids.
Now, Coach, they really gave you trouble for most of the game going over the 380-pound offensive lineman. I think his name was Smith, if I got it right. And then they had that 280 pounds listed, maybe a little less than that, quarterback that's leading the way. They're in the Wildcat. I've never seen a game where both teams were in the Wildcat so much. And you had a hard time stopping them, but you made some halftime adjustments and did a good job there. I thought maybe since you didn't have a lot of opportunities, weren't moving the ball, you might want to put it in the air. I thought Sprockeye did a good job when he had the pass-run option, that he just ran away from those defensive linemen. He was so much quicker than them and had choices, and I thought maybe you want to put it up. But credit to you. You didn't panic. You didn't start throwing bombs. You kept it on the ground, got that big touchdown, took a 16-14 lead, and gave them about 3 or 4 opportunities, including the personal fouls and the roughing the kicker, and they go ahead. But I said it on the air. Plenty of time. You got a great return by Sprockeye into their territory, and you methodically moved it down the field, and then you made me and Dan stay longer by not making that extra point in overtime. But it was electric. It was great. I would have liked to seen more fans there at the game, but I'm glad we had over 7,000 watching us last week. And just kudos to you guys. And like Ray said, really impressed with Bradley and Roush. Roush was our player of the game. And, of course, we don't want to slight anybody. All your players played well, but Purgie and before the game.
Well, what happens is when you go in that Wildcat and you're able to move the ball, you have an extra blocker now. Yeah, they could stack the ball. Everyone says, well, they're stacking the box. Okay, that's fine. But if you're moving the ball 4 or 5 yards a clip, as we have really quite a bit the last 2 years, that whoever's taking the snap doesn't always have to carry the ball. Because if you noticed, a few times we ran the counter back, and it was kickoff return with 2.5 minutes to go. Back, put it into their 47. When you got Tommy Purgie, it was Noah and Tommy. We put Jimmy in the pistol, and we ran that counter back on the weak side, which gave us that was like a 25, 30-yard gain. And then you mentioned that Matthew Sprockeye on 3rd and 9 did a great job of eluding the pressure and tucked the ball and ran, and not only got the first down on a key play, but also got out of bounds because we only had 1 timeout left.
I'll tell you, your runners really ran hard in that game, and it was a game played in a phone booth. Both of you guys were about 11 on the line, and toward the end there, River put the ball up in the air when they thought they needed to. But it's the end of the first half. There's like 14 seconds. More bad things can happen than good. And they kind of snuck the guy like he was going out of bounds and hit him, and nobody's there for about a 40-yard gain. But they didn't score, of course.
At the end of the game?
I think the first half, the end of the first half.
From somebody, that was an illegal play that we contested, and it was verified it was illegal. So we got an email, a scold that the call was missed. That's called deception. That became illegal.
That's what that was. Yeah. Okay, all right.
That's an illegal play. We saw it right away. You're not allowed to do it. And luckily, we didn't lose the game because of it.
The one good thing, they chewed up a lot of time, that's for sure. Right. And I think they were down to no timeouts or 1 at the most at that time. But
well, some people had mentioned, they were shocked at number 5. He had 41 carries. I mean, that's a lot. That is a lot of carries. And at the end, he wasn't in there because I jumped in the fourth quarter.
Well, he also went both ways. I think it was Devers, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And he did a heck of a job for them during the game. But your guys responded. I was just really impressed. All right, let's get into Miller, huh? Miller's coming. They're 30 miles north, in case people wonder, of Athens, and they're 2.5 hours away from here. So it's a nice thing. They're coming to you. You're not having to go to them. That's number one. Tell us a little bit about Miller. They can score some points, but I'm not sure what kind of competition that they've played along the way.
Well, their competition's been fine. They beat Bishop Rosecrans 41-0 4 weeks ago. That's a team that we beat in a
8-7.
Yeah, like a monsoon early in the season. So, they're very good speed. They like to run the football. They'll do some of the things that we have seen, like the unbalanced set. Their quarterback, very good athlete. He likes to run the ball in the Wildcat. And then their tailback, their offset back, he is a good back. So those are their two main guys. They got a real good receiver as well we got to keep an eye on. But, I think what we got to do, we got to stop their run, and we got to be able to move the ball. They've played good defense all year.
Right.
Coach, you get a big.
Oh, good. The kids. They're very businesslike. I just got done. I think I was telling you off the air. We just got done lifting. We had to flip things because of the darkness now.
Right.
So we usually lift before practice. So we got down on the field, got back up. They went in the weight room and they lifted when I came here, and so we just keep business as usual, and telling the kids to work hard. We worked really hard today. We have a little bit of a sickness going around. That bug has kind of been away from us.
Dan Vogel got it.
Well, I had it last week, and my wife and my son and all of us, my daughter, we all had it, and it's bad, but. I'd rather have it than the kids, but it stayed away from the kids. But we've had a little bit of it late after, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm hoping I'd rather have it early in the week than later in the week, obviously. But I'm hoping that the kids were healthy. So that's the only thing I've had to, because our kids come to practice, they come to school, and they practice, but If somebody has a fever and stuff, you got to be real careful because you don't want that stuff to spread.
All right, this is Coach Eric Meek here. Coach, hope we see you next Wednesday. Wish you the best of luck.
Right.
High Valley Sports Online will be there. Jimmy DiCarlo and Stevie Daly will be live streaming that game. You can check in on us about 6:45 in the evening. We'll be ready to go here bringing you that. We'll also be at the Big Red game here Friday night as they host Athens. And Athens don't have Joe Burrow, so we're looking forward to seeing Coach Saccoccia and Coach Meek back here again. This is High Valley Sports Online from the Harp and the Habit.
Hey,
it's
Ray,
wing
just
night.
One more quick question I have for him. It was really neat. I was honored just to be there. Nobody else playing in the state, and I'm presuming, I don't know that for a fact yet, you will be the only game not in town but in the whole state. No other Ohio team be playing Saturday night when you were playing.
Well, we really appreciate the hospitality Steubenville City Schools gives us to use Harding Stadium. We love playing at Harding Stadium. I was a little nervous they'd make us go to a neutral site, and I didn't want to do that. Our kids didn't want to do it. Me personally, I love coaching in that stadium. It's one of the best. From the time Andy meets us at the gate there and lets us in to the time we leave. It just is a really nice facility for us, and we enjoy it.
Well, good luck to you this week. Hopefully you'll be back next week. You will be moving to Fridays after this Saturday if you move on until the state finals, if you get that far. And what day would that be for your division? Do you know?
Not sure.
Okay, so it could be Thursday, Friday, or Saturday.
Yeah.
I know
One
it's
week at a
time.
time.
Right?
One week
Okay.
at a time.
Well,
Jimmy, you had a habit of looking down the road a lot on this playoff run.
Absolutely. I'm positive thinking, Ray.
All right,
Positive
there
thinking.
you go. All right, for Jimmy DiCarlo and Danny Vogel, this is Ray Saccoccia with Coach Eric Meek. This segment was sponsored by National Colloid Company. We'll see you again Friday night. Thanks for watching.